Last Saturday evening, in a room intended for words, someone chose violence. Not debate, not disagreement, not even anger expressed in speech, but an attempt, again, to bring harm to the President of the United States at the White House Correspondents' Dinner held in Washington, Hilton, in our nation's capital. Let that settle in, because something is happening in this nation, and it isn't just political. It's deeper than that. Coming to you from the MAB Podcast Network, this is On The Brink with Michael Allen Brown. Welcome to this episode of On The Brink. I'm Michael Allen Brown. We need to say this plainly. This is not politics. This is not, quote, heated discourse, end quote. This is not passion spilling over. This is the collapse of restraint. When a human being crosses the line from argument to attempted violence, we are no longer dealing with disagreement. We are dealing with something darker, something that grows when it is fed and spreads when it is excused. And if we're truly honest, we've seen it building for a long time. Let me be very clear. Violence against any leader, any public figure, any citizen is a line that must never be crossed, not excused, not softened, not rationalized, but condemned fully, without hesitation. Because the moment a society begins to justify violence based on who the target is, it has already stepped onto a dangerous road. And history is not silent about where that road leads. I want to say something plainly tonight. This is not about parties. It's not about left or right. It's not about who you voted for or who you didn't. This is about something far more basic. Human decency. And when that begins to erode, everything else follows behind it. When we reach a point in this country where violence, even attempted violence, begins to find justification in the minds of some, we are not witnessing strength. We are witnessing failure, a failure of conscience, a failure of restraint, a failure to recognize the humanity in those we oppose, And I will say this as clearly as I know how. If we cannot draw a line here, if we cannot say without qualification, without hesitation, this is wrong, this must stop, then we're not drifting toward the brink. We are stepping over it. And I will not accept that. Not quietly. Not passively. Not as, oh well, this is just the way things are now. Because the moment we accept it, we surrender something we may never recover. But here's the deeper danger. It's not just the act itself. It's what it awakens in everyone else. Fear, rage, retaliation. The temptation to say, if that's where we are now, then so be it. My friends, that is how a nation unravels. Not all at once, but thread by thread, moment by moment, reaction by reaction. Now, I want to speak directly to you because On the Brink isn't about them out there. It's about what's happening inside of us. You may feel anger tonight. You may feel disgust. You may feel a deep frustration with what this country is becoming. And that's real. But here's the question that matters the most. What will you do with it? Will you let it harden you? Will you let it pull you into the same spirit that fuels this kind of act? Or will you hold the line? Will you choose restraint when restraint is hardest? Because the strength of a nation is not measured by how loud its anger becomes, but by how firmly its people refuse to surrender to it. And so in a world where it seems seemingly uncertain, there are still people building things that last. Our sponsor, Hedgehog Signs in Newport, Kentucky, knows the value of standing firm and being seen clearly. From campaign signage to business branding to custom displays, Jim Claypool and his team deliver quality work right here in northern Kentucky. Mention Brink and receive 10% off of your order. Because even in uncertain times, clarity still matters. We are living in a time where the line between words and violence is being tested again and again. But hear me. We do not preserve this nation by outshouting one another. We preserve it by refusing to cross the lines that once crossed are not easily restored. And as always, when the night feels heavy and the world seems closer to the edge than ever before. Look to the moon. It has no light of its own. It simply reflects the light of the sun, a quiet reminder that even in darkness, light still reaches us. I'm Michael Allen Brown, and this is On the Brink.